I used to wonder what it feel like to do that shit in real life. Amen. 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 What's happening? I thought I would get on here. I thought I'd pop out. And just start pushing buttons. You ever just want to go up into the cockpit of some fuselage of an aircraft and just start flipping switches? There's a lot of switches in here. Oh, that was less graceful than I thought it'd be. It's okay. I have no idea what I want to talk about. So, how about we consider this just some kind of like some jazz? You know, if some ish pops out, then some ish pops out. How about we keep the stakes low? Right? Hey, contrary to how I actually feel in this moment in time, I'm no different than any other time I've ever made one of these talks ever at all. Then, now, back then, now, and then, future then. From dust to dust. I always pop back up in the middle of the entire universe. And I think, okay. So I think I've got the main course. Coming out the oven soon, boys. It's that at every opportunity, you have an option to view your life from some kind of thing. Nice, explicit. How good is that? You get the option, at any given point, you get the option to view your life from some given point. Clap it up. Clap it up for Dawson the Describer. My name is my name. No, it's just interesting because everything is there, all for you. Every single tidbit of the universe is there to propel you forward, further further into whatever dimension you're entering. The only things that get in the way the only things that get in between us and our desired outcomes, the ways that we want to feel about life, are our preferences. I could walk around here, bitch and complain that I just happen to choose. I happen to choose the wrong time to go out and walk and create a talk. I chose a busy ass street, cars passing by every second. I could say, oh, it's fucking up my audio. Adios. And I can let this sit and fester in my head, on my brain. And, you know, same goes for people, too. Like, it's unbelievable how often we will go against even ourselves. Buddy, guys, we don't exist. Look, I know, I sound like a delusional lunatic. What the hell is he saying? What does he even mean by that? Guys, we don't even exist. Guys, the cup is already broken. We need to break free from the time loop, everybody. You two specifically. We gotta break through from the time loop. The cup is already broken. Our days are already numbered. They have been since we were conceived. Since the night or morning of or midday fucking in which we were conceived, everybody, we had an expiration date. It's coming. I promise you, it's not a matter of if, it's when. Okay? One time I was tripping balls, and I made this really cringy video, and I uploaded it to Instagram, Snapchat, and all that shit. Oh my god. And I was still very insecure, and I still cared like what people thought of me, and I was still very much a timid, meek, reserved, cards close to my chest, sort of individual, quiet, shy guy, if you will. You know, he cared very much about my, you know, the perception of who I was. Well, now I care Yeah, I want to go, and I want to go out and say, I don't give one fuck. I don't think that's necessarily true either, though. Because even still, I have my preferences for... Because I've got my favorites, dude. I've got my favorite fucking flavors. You understand? But something that I have learned about the world. Slimy ass. Dude, something that I've learned about the world, as I have just smashed repeatedly my head against the walls, like, it's like somewhere along the line I found something that I liked. And the place that I fucked up, that I'm just letting whoever is listening to this know, for either for them and for me. I don't know if this even fucking helps them, but me sort of venting this or expressing this idea that is here, it helps me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Bestow upon myself a present. And if it just so happens to help out other people in the process, hey, that's gravy. That's a tofurkey. For all of you that aren't in the know, I'm a vegetarian, and a tofurkey is something they come out with around Thanksgiving and various holidays. It's a tofu turkey. It's kind of like a chicken cordon bleu. It's this piece of tofu with it's like stuffed with like some rice or some lentils or something like that. Anyways, crazy bug, heavy bug brushed up against my leg hairs. I'm grateful for my leg hair because it's attractive and I like it, and it signals when there's various bugs that I gotta smack to defend myself. That tidbit of info that I learned along the journey is when you find something that you like about yourself, you almost want to defend it. And you almost it's like if you find your favorite shirt or your favorite underwear, your favorite socks, or like just any of your favorite like garment of clothing. You just want to wear it every day, all the time. Like, it's when you're a little kid and you get that freaking Halloween costume. You don't care it's not Halloween anymore. You want to go to bed as Spider-Man. You want to wake up as Spider-Man. You just want to do shit in the Spider-Man costume always, forever, all the time. Mom and dad say, hey, no, you got to change. You got to put on different clothes. And you're like, no, what do you... Stop being a fool. Stop being a fool. For I am Spider-Man. This is me. Accept me for who I am. Okay. We're getting off the rails here. So, clothing, garments, Halloween costumes. I'm talking about personality traits. I'm talking about ways you express yourself as a person. Sometimes we'll find one that we really like. But, look, when you get around other people, like it or not, I mean, you have the ability to acquiesce and sort of feel out a common ground between you and some other person, or you could just say fuck it, and you can just rape somebody else consciously. You can rape somebody else spiritually. You can rape the atmosphere, and they just have to hear it. And you can give people problems and issues in that kind of way, especially if you just if you don't care about how you impact other people. Like, the ways that we can be wrong, the ways that I can be wrong. thinking I'm doing somebody else a favor, thinking I'm doing myself a favor, thinking I'm doing us a favor by subjecting the other to me. Dude. It all comes back down to this. It comes down to awareness. It comes back around, returns to being mindful about who you are, who other people are, and how you're feeling at any given moment in time. First and foremost, hey man, no one ever asked you to, hey, I get you're changing. No one ever asked you to be the same. No one ever asked you for consistency. Okay? No one ever asked you. You know, the only thing people would ask you is, hey, are you okay? You're gonna have to deal with that one. They're gonna ask you, hey, something going on? Hey, are you alright? Probably gonna get that one a little bit. Hey, you've changed. Hey, you're not. Yep. Glad you noticed. Better late than never, huh? Oh my God, does it all have to do with change? I suppose so. Accepting change. Spare change. You know, allowing yourself to change, you know, knowing what changes to make at any given point in time. Some changes, they happen to you. That's to say you're like, oh man, I don't want this. You're hitting the brakes on shit. Some changes, they happen for you. One set of footsteps, he was carrying me. Look, guys. How about this big one, huh? Is it about the being, or is it about the becoming? What y'all think? Is it about the being or the becoming? What do you guys care about more? Look, I don't think I know a goddamn man on planet Earth that does not want some combination of power, pussy, influence, status, wealth, health, control, significance, ability, competence, confidence. I don't know a goddamn man on planet Earth who doesn't operate with these kinds of intrinsic desires. Now, to the extent that such a man will be so outwardly expressive about his desires, or he'll keep them close to his chest, varies. Spectrum. It's a spectrum, everybody. It's a spectrum. And I swear to God, who does not go through the sort of decision matrix of, how do we do it? Okay, guys, this is what I want. I finally figured out what it is that I want. I put it down in my journal, wrote it down, all that. Okay, how do we do it? This is what I want, motherfucker. Make it happen for me. I said, this is what I want, mother. Make it happen for me. It's like, Well, you know what? I wrote down in the journal earlier today a few things, of course. 0.333 repeating, of course. And I just went in and I Leroy Jenkins that shit. Leroy Jenkins! Please stop, chicken. And I wrote down, first of all, here's how it started. I guess, this is really interesting to me. Because I was prompted and provoked in such a way where the question was just this. The question was simple as this. When did it all start for you? When did it happen for you? When was it? Who was there? What time was this? And that's an interesting question. Because you can choose a fuck ton of plot points on that. You can choose a ton of places. When did it start for you? What was that event for you? What? See how I kept it vague? What? See? You can take that anywhere you want. Where are we going? That's the significance. What was your life event? Adjacent to that question is, who were they? Who were those people in your life? And so I started to write down in my journal. I wrote down a handful of influential people in my life, and I'm not this time I didn't write down. I didn't write down like musicians. I didn't write down artists. I didn't write down people that I only know from the digital sphere. And I didn't do that consciously. I just happened to choose the people that I encountered in real life that really were something to me. And I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it too much. It was sincerely just right off the TOP, the top of the dome. You see, what was I doing? I was planting flowers. To bring about the butterflies in my garden. I wasn't out capturing them with a butterfly net and bringing them in. I was tending to my garden. And then all of a sudden I noticed some butterflies. What do you think about the idea there's no such thing as wasted time? Because personally, I don't really know how much I believe about. I don't know how much I believe in that. I think that the universe and God and whoever. I just think that the infrastructure of the universe is really nice. And it sucks. And it sucks too. Partly because you're a pretty big player. Whether you know it or not, you're a pretty big player in your life, in the direction that it goes, and the speed that it goes to. And, for whatever reason, a lot of times we just think, I gotta walk on the sidewalk. I gotta drive inside of these lanes. Within these lanes. House, don't fuck with me. Go play the gold shine cutlery. Go play the corners where the butlers be. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay. Life is, at first you know, there's degrees to this, you know? At first we're under other people's wings. We're under the wings of other people. And these other people have their preferences for life. Things that they like to feel, things that they don't. And so we are tabula rasa. We are blank. And then, you know, we sort of pick up on the habits and the preferences of those around us, especially those who take care of us, especially when we're younger. And then we grow. We grow. And we learn there's more to life. And what I have learned, what I've discovered about life is that life is not always just here's what you've been given, and so you have to accept this. I have learned that life is what you accept. And along the journey has been my favorite part, I think. It's been the learning process. It's been the maturing process, because in the beginning, you know, you just kind of go with whatever, and you're okay with that, and you're kind of like, you're just in, you know, you're in Eden, you're in heaven, right there, and you're okay with all the things that you're given, you're okay with all of the sort of preferences that other people have, and the preferences and the default settings that other people have laid upon you, and you just go with it, and you're okay with it. It's all good, happy, go lucky, and dandy, and you know, you're a peacemaker and you go along to get along, but you don't even have an issue with this kind of thing. You look on the bright side. You're on the silver lining of things, and things are utterly perfect. You know, utterly perfect. I don't want to throw a but in here, so I'll throw an and, or perhaps an or. You know, it's utterly perfect, and or you are submissive. You are receptive. You are going with the narrative that is going on. When I became aware of that predicament as a adolescent, you know, just a latter teen, an early 20-er, you know, a young adult. At first, I became enraged. I became enraging. I became wrathful of that. I was like, fuck that shit, dude. You know, the testosterone was doing it. You know, testosterone was, it was like a skill. It was like a new skill I was developing, and I had to like hone that ability in my life. The testosterone, the masculine imperative to rage against the machine, the sort of masculine will to just, you know, fucking bull in a china shop, just, you know, just to go ape. Hey. All I want to do is speak on yay. Don't get you too chipped like Frito-Lay. You know? And so that was like, that's step two. Step two is when you just kind of, I want to be in control of my destiny. I want to be in control of my fate. I don't want to listen to y'all. I don't want to go by you. I want to drive the boat. Let me drive the boat. That's step two. Something that I have learned, maybe looking back on that, is I love it, is that it's like you're not even necessarily, you know, pissed off that you're going in a direction in life that you don't like or what have you. You're just mad that you're not operating the vehicle. You're like, I want to make decisions. Even if it doesn't go against your narrative or whatever, you're like, I want to be the person in control and start, Anyways, step 3 along that whole thing is that I've come to understand that, you don't actually need to be wrathful and enraged. You don't need to boost yourself with the Hulk serum to get your way. You can just as easily just allow yourself to, I don't know, the biggest lesson along that time span of the journey for me is that I didn't need the depression. I didn't need the anger. I didn't need the rage. I didn't need the sort of bothered attitude at every opportunity that life was bringing about something into my awareness field, inside of my mind field. I realized, I was like, oh, it's literally just as easy, dude. It's literally just as easy as getting rid of the entitlement. It's like, dude, stop taking things so personally. Stop taking various minutia and minutiae from the universe as this personal beef that God has with you. It's like, nope, someone else just wanted to walk down the sidewalk at the same time you did. Okay, they're not, dude, it's just as easy as crossing the street or jogging past them or whatever. I mean, we're not powerless. We are not powerless. Oh, and by the way, AA people. What am I doing? Why am I calling out AA people? Okay, the reason I'm calling out AA people is because AA people, there's a belief in it, in the AA system. They say, there's a belief in there that they sneak it in there and they say, I am powerless. What the hell is that? No, I think you're not powerless. I think that if you have an awareness of how you like to live your life, it doesn't have to be some grandiose idea about how to get to it, how to bring it about. But if you have an idea of what you really like in life, powerless. It's like, no, I'm sorry. You're sorry. It's the complete opposite. You're the only one. There's some lyrics from a song with The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar. I think the song's called "Pray for Me," off of the Black Panther album, and he says something like, "Where's your hero? Look in the mirror, there go your hero. Where am I? Waiting in line at ground zero, hero. The souls of suffering men, waiting on deaf ears again. Rapture is coming." And it's like, look, it's all good and well to believe in a higher power. I'm not against it. Definitely not against it. My perspective is that the higher power and you work together. That funnily enough, your higher power won't save you. If you don't meet that higher power halfway, dude, your higher power is a business partner. Dude, your higher power is simply, your higher power is your reasonable, rational mind who is not encapsulated in a body. Your higher power is a friend who lives and reveals itself through the universe. Sometimes it's internal, and it's a voice, it's a dialogue inside of yourself. Sometimes it's mysterious, and it's subtle, and it's weird coincidences. Oh, these lights, I'm catching these lights. Other times it's a little more overt and strange, where you see it's pareidolia-ious. You see faces in trees, and it's these sort of things that play with your mind. But regardless, this higher power isn't going to give you, dude, your higher power isn't going to give you your life. It's not going to guide you in the way that you think. Your higher power is not more powerful than you. Now, is this the greatest tidbit of information you can come across, or the worst? It's like, we want to believe there is a higher power out there that can guide our lives and to give us the right answers, to bring about boons in our life, to bring about great pleasures and luxury and security and certainty and great materials and the good life and other various things like this. Dude, I want to just let you know right now, our want to believe in a higher power, it can come from a good place or a bad place. The bad place that wanting to believe in a higher power can do, it comes from a selfish nature. It comes from a greed inside of the human being. Oh, I'm gonna believe in these good spiritual principles because they're gonna bring about the good life. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be famous. I'm gonna be secure. I'm gonna be wealthy, healthy. Gonna have all the ladies. Gonna be charismatic. Gonna be charming, confident. Basically, I figured out life. All I've got to do is pray, put my hands together, bow my head, and, be grateful. And guess what? Bam! God rewards me. Because I am pious. What do you think about that one? Is pious? Is pious, is good because it is good, or right? That's to say, did you do a good deed because that it just goes back to the saying, what is doing a good deed? I think doing a good deed, I think that if you do a good deed with the wrong sort of intention and the wrong heart behind it, the wrong heart backing it, you didn't do a good deed. I think you did like more of a neutral deed. You did good even though you didn't feel good about it. You did good, but you felt bad during it. You did good, but you didn't feel so good about doing it. And therefore, I don't think you really did a good thing. I don't think you were being pious in that moment. I don't think it was true to the truest that true can be. And in fact, I think it was the move made by a man of wavering faith. Doing good because to be polite. I say no, you gotta trust in all of I think you got to trust in the human nature. You know what a godlike experience is? It's being able to forgive in real time. Okay? It's being able to not mask your human nature. It's to be able to live out your entirety within the domains of human nature, and you get to see the full spectrum of things. Where you may have slapped it on too much in that instant, and then you might have, created some kind of burden on the other end of it, and then you two both just figured out, and you're like, I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. And you guys just both look at this. You look at the predicament you're both in, and it's like, I'm sorry, and I still love you, and I forgive you, and I know you can't help it. And thank you. And I'm really grateful for this. That's what true good is. True good is not all of the ways that we try and craft something that is good. True good is being able to being able to eyeball what a smidgen is. How much is a smidgen? I don't know, about this much. Perfect. You're right. I will follow you to the death. God damn it. I want to go back to this whole thing about what a higher power even is in my life, because it's amazing and I love it. I love it. Dude, it's not like I'm in this all-knowing kind of state every single moment of my life. I swear to you, okay? I'm a human being, okay? And you know what that means? That means I have a dodecahedrous sort of like, I'm like a cut gem, and there's so many various convex angles, and you look at it I'm a kaleidoscope of various images, and you look at me in this kind of lighting from this angle, and whoop-de-doop-de-damn, something comes out. You look at me from another angle, another time, another lighting, something differently entirely, okay? All right. So, all of that being said, there are times where I will ask my business partner, I will ask my higher power out there in the world. I'll say something like, I will say something like, hey, what should I do with my life? I'll do the Jesus take the wheel thing. I'll be like, hey God, hey higher power, what should I do with my life? It's like a magic 8 ball, like hopefully God will give me some answer. You know what he does? He goes radio silent on my ass. He's like, I'm kidding. He doesn't go radio silent on me. Sometimes he will, but you know what? I got a very interesting sort of response to that question some time ago, and it was something like, dude, you have your own life. I'm not trying to live your life for you. You make your own decisions. Isn't that just... I love that response. I love that answer. That's such a beautiful answer. That's such a beautiful answer. And I love it, and I love it, and I love it, because it's like, yeah, dude, you're basically free to do whatever, however you want to live your life. I'm really just there. I'm really just there with you along the journey, okay? I'm there with you. For all of the good decisions that you make, I'm there to celebrate with you. And for all of the ways you still fall short, yeah, I'm there with you too, to hold you accountable like you want to be, to give you the sort of counterweight of embarrassment or shame or punishment or reprimandingness that I need. Whenever I do something a little shady, I don't just want to get off scot-free. No, I want that weighing on my mind. I want that weighing on my heart. I want the symptoms to show. And so, my higher power, my God, he'll put on that mask. He'll put on that role. He'll give me what I want in that moment. you know? He's an actor in the green room. He's my buddy. He's my best friend. And he's like, okay, you need someone to smack you? I'll smack you. I know what you want. I know how you need it. I got you. And, yeah, dude. I think, hey, you can look at God however you want to look at God, okay? I don't want to persuade, but I do find this to be a very interesting thing, because I've had a ton of ideas what the fuck God was, or wasn't, or isn't, or couldn't be, you know, my entire life, truly. You know, in the beginning of my life, you know, I'd hear people talk about God, and I was more of an atheist. I didn't believe. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Someone created the universe? That's retarded. That doesn't even make any sense. Oh, did you know him? Especially when they would personify them, and they'd say, yes, Jesus Christ is the one true. I was like, you're telling me there was somebody that had legs and arms and a beard and wore a toga that created the universe? Are you kidding me? That just seems very... I don't know about that one. I don't intrinsically just believe that. You know, if I were a magnet and that was a magnet, I don't know if I'm sticking to that one. You know? I don't know. I don't think so. You know, then we'd go to church as a little kid. You know, I remember the narrative of what it was to go to church. We would only go during certain times. I remember being bored as hell. I remember we'd only go during some special event or holiday, or if my dad was going and he was seeing some new, he had a new girlfriend or something like that, and so we'd go to a new church. Maybe there'd be music or whatever, but the narrative of that was that I wanted to spend my time doing other things, and I was basically just dragged along for this. And so it was more of a pulling of the teeth sort of event. Indian rug burn event. And so it's not like I connected God with these sorts of things or very heavily, but this was kind of how it was in the beginning of the beginnings. Next, you know, another idea of God. This isn't really a progression thing, but oftentimes I see people will come at the perspective of God is this almighty, all-powerful thing, and they'll look up to God like God is this ethereal thing. Like, it's so much better than me, and I'm nothing, and I'm inferior, and and it's almost blasphemous to think anything other than that too, especially when you get around those kinds of crowds of people. you get around those crowds of people that believe God to be this sort of almighty, all-powerful. If you don't do this, then I'm going to punish you. If you're not a good person, I'm going to punish you. And what you end up becoming is you just become someone who does good because you don't want to get reprimanded for that shit. And it's not like you do good because you love the feeling of doing good. You do good because you're scared to do anything else. And that's not the idea of God that I fell in love with. The idea of God that I come to love so much more now is that it's my best friend. It's some kind of alive entity. It's some kind of aliveness. It's some kind of conscious agent out there that plays in accordance to how I play. When I sprint, my shadow moves with me. Dude, I look at this sort of conscious, alive agent and entity, and I look at it with love and admiration that you do for someone that the beloved, someone that you love and cherish. And it's like, Yes, this is my favorite viewpoint to take. It's like, yeah, you can sort of look up at the aspects and qualities that make them amazing, and you can appreciate them for that. But I don't think that makes me. Yeah. You know what makes me worse? Definitely not God, dude. Definitely not my best buddy. What makes me worse is my idea of other people. Other people don't like it when you like yourself. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm lying. I'm not telling the truth. But not on purpose. It's just that I've come across new information. What really happens is you split people. You divide people like crazy when you start talking about all this sort of what kind of shit. Unacceptable. You start dividing people pretty quick, you know. Because there's big player ideas out there in the zeitgeists of the world. Some of them are that, yeah, you should not love yourself. You should not like yourself. Why do you like yourself? Dude, if you like yourself, you know what happens? People don't like it when you like yourself. And then they're gonna go out and hurt you because of that. They don't like it when you like yourself too much. You're narcissistic, you're an egomaniac, you're manic, you're egotistical, you're full of yourself, you're prideful, you're getting on my nerves. There's that, and then there's other people that will back you because they like themselves too. Because they enjoy themselves and I don't know. There's so many, it's a complex thing. I don't always love myself. I don't always like myself. Sometimes I feel very trapped. And sometimes I feel very restricted in my capabilities, abilities, and limitations, and, you know, these things going on in the mind, you know, all these sorts of ways that my body is sort of clenched, you know, entrapped within patterns that have been going on that are so close that they're like cataracts, that I'm viewing the world from this clouded perspective. And it's part of me at this point in time. And I need, in these moments in time, to not move by sight, but by faith. You know what I'm saying? I am not a he of little faith mover. I am you know why I love that question? I think everything comes down to having more faith. All the things come down to having more faith. Why? Why do you think that? Because I love moving around confidently and certain. I don't like moving around in the world like I don't know anything, that I'm scared and what's going to happen next. And it's like, what's going to happen next? Well, here's what reality is, Bubba. The present moment is this eternal thing that we live in forever until we die. Hey, did you know that the moment that we're on our deathbed is going to be the present moment at that given point in time? Did you know that? That there's going to be a moment in time where we have the opportunity to be present and like actively aware and feel all of the feelings that go into what it is to be dying, to be, you know, to sort of approach that, I don't know, like sequence of beads, you know, to move to one room to the next one. Well, sometimes I get caught in that idea of being versus becoming. You know, there's this idea of becoming that I think a lot of people get caught in. I obviously do too. I want to become the wealthiest, most powerful, man on earth. I want to become wealthy and powerful, and I decide things, and fetch me grapes, woman. I'm kidding. I don't talk to people like that unless I'm being very, 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 very satirical. And hopefully people know that I'm joking. And if they can't pick up on social cues, I would still love to have them around, because sometimes those people are so endearing and charming. Fetch me the grapes, woman. Only the red ones. Darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Getting caught in this sort of idea of a future. I'll get anxious about, oh my God, I've got to do this work, because I try and plan. Like, my mind can't help but sort of plan and try and bring about a future. It's trying to do that Doctor Strange shit. It's trying to figure out right now, as, the world is crumbling and things are going chaotic, and it's... First and foremost, the world is not necessarily crumbling, to the extent it depends, dude. There's a lot of things at play. What kind of things are we consuming? What things do we have in order in our life, and what things are fucked beyond hell? Okay? How many pillars do you have in your life that sort of give you this kind of, like, I don't know, like a pat on the back of security, competent. They give you competency. They give you the feeling that you're a competent, confident individual. Like, for me, like, I have enough cookies in a cookie jar that I have built up over some time that it's like I have sufficient belief in my own abilities as a result of being able to do certain things time and time again, or being able to stop temptations from time and time again, or to catch myself in a moment of whatever. It's like, I've built up enough trust with my relationship with myself that it's like, okay. And what I wanted to go with this is the sort of data that we consume. That's also a big player about what goes on in our fucking minds, what goes on in our belief systems. If you're sitting there watching, listening, I swear to God, even just having the television on to Fox News, CNN, all of these sort of things. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if it's Fox News, CNN, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any other information that is being fed to you in this kind of way, as though it was even this. I swear to God to you, even this YouTube video of me, or this voice memo of me right here in this instance, it's not you. As much as I love whatever is coming out of my mouth, it might be entertaining. It might be useful to you. It might be. But sometimes these things get in the way, okay? I used to love Alan Watts. I used to love Ram Dass. I even heard some other inspirational shit by Mike Tyson the other day, where he said, you have to eviscerate all doubt in your mind. You have to believe. You have to believe. If you don't believe, then it's not going to happen for you. And, and maybe these things were just things that I needed to hear in the moment in time, and that's all it is. But because I've learned in life that things are about letting go. It's that saying about, if you love it, let it go. There is a little bit of that. If you love it, let it go. If it comes back to you, perhaps it was meant to be. I learned that life is about the present moment, my friend. I think that it's partly about the present moment. I still go back and forth, dude. Obviously, I still go back and forth. What do I have complete faith in? I have complete faith in that you can't put your finger on shit and have that be the answer for life forever, always. It's this thing that needs recalibration and calibration and readjustment and all the time. Even if your answer happens to be, it recalibrates to something that you had before, you still got to always kind of just check every once in a while. Hey, is my kid drowning in the bathtub? What are they doing up there? And You know, just always gotta check just check in every once in a while. Recalibrate every once in a while. I have to. And it's like, do I, this is my favorite. It's like, do you really have to? And it's like, yes, I really have to. And it's not because, look, it's not because I don't have faith. It's because I have more than faith. It's because I have faith in what it is to be a human. We need this sort of like, it's an R word. It's an R word. It's like we need the reassurance. I need to double check. I need to triple check sometimes. You know, sometimes, you know, I can only walk with my eyes closed in an empty field for so long before I have to open my eyes. Even though it's an empty field. And there might not be shit in front of me. At some point, we circumnavigate everything, and it comes down to the question, it's like, why are we doing this? Why am I walking with my eyes closed? This is, oh yes, this is kind of arbitrary. Great. Nice. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. The play of becoming versus being. Yeah, I want to talk about the becoming part. It's like, yeah, dude, I want to become rich. I want to become powerful. I want to become wealthy. I want to become able to walk in to store, buy anything, walk out, not think about nothing, just grab and go. Grab and go, bling, go. Grab, go. Hey, I need oh great, go get it, bam. Just throw a wad of cash as it flies and feathers through the air. You know, falls to the ground in such a way, like leaves in the wind. It's like, that's all good and well, but it's like, what do I really want to become? What do I really want to become? Yeah, I would go and say, I'm going to include all of humanity into this. We want some level of security, certainty, okayness, especially about the future, especially about the unknowns. And the whole journey about becoming is, the whole journey about becoming versus being is still this kind of unknown thing to me. Because I can go and I can preach day and night about just being. You gotta follow your heart. You gotta follow, you know when things aren't right, and you know what to do. You're just not pulling the trigger. You gotta go and go and go and go and go with it and go with it and go with it and go with it. Just go with it. You know what you want. You know how to do it. You're just waiting in a track of life. You know, you're currently on a track of life that you don't want to be a part of. You can do it, man. Do it. You know, this sort of thing. And then I think, well, and then I'm like, the sort of realistic perspective where I'm like, yeah, well, there's still like actual work that I have to do. There's stuff that I actually have to do to sort of bring about this kind of future that I want. It's not like I could just like sit and imagine I can't just imagine. Life into existence. It's like, yes, dude, I've got access to the kingdom of heaven. Can I stay there for my entire life? Nope, I can't. I can't stay there for my entire life. It's like I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to stay there for my entire life. I can go and visit. I can stay for a while, but when it comes down to it, no. We live on Earth. We're human beings. This is the world we live in. And it's not escapable. We can't survive on air. Food for thought only goes so far. And then there's our very unique sort of peculiarities and particularities and the things that we like and hobbies and things that we enjoy, ways that we like spending our time. And the best thing about, maybe, I don't know if this is the best or the worst thing, but like, funnily enough, the things that we spend our time on hobby-wise, it's like we say that we enjoy them, but we also, part of these things that we spend our time on is not all enjoyment. It's like an all-encompassing sort of event. It's a whole life experience packed into an activity. It's, I want to make this perfect. I got to let go here. It's your mind. It's your mind out in front of you, acted out in some sort of interpretive form or technique of doing something. Anyways. Here's my thought. I think I'm gonna end this with the sort of real life example of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about what even faith is, especially in this sort of very particular specific event in my life. Me sort of going to the magic conch. Hey, buddy, should I go in there and buy those almonds? I really wanted to buy the almonds. Or should I wait and go to Costco when they open up and get the mixed bag of fancy nuts for $17? It's 2.25 pounds of mixed nuts. I can get pistachios, hazelnuts, walnuts, and almonds. Those four, 2.25 pounds of them, $17. What do you think? Or should I go in there and get the slivers of almonds? I'm about to run out. What do you think? Magic Conch says, no. Well, what is my take on that? Well, my take on that is that even God, we can disobey. Right? If I asked God that question, we, human beings, we have the power to defy. This is what free will is, right? I think they also call this the Yetzer Hara, this sort of rascally nature inside each of us as a creature. I didn't get the answer I wanted. I wanted him to say, yeah, go and get those, yeah. Magic Conch, you should have said yes, go in there and get those almonds. I wanted the answer to be yes, I had so much faith, I had so much faith, I just wanted it to be yes. And then, the law of abundance, and if I just go and I spend more, then more will come back to me. And if I'm generous, then yeah. And then there's also this sort of like, well, it's funny. You just become a different kind of person. It is kind of about the being and the becoming. It's a beautiful thing. You become a new person along the journey. All that being said, I think about things like, I think about other kinds of things. Like, here's how it associates in my brain. Oh, dude, I went into the grocery store and I bought nuts. You know what that means? It means that I got nuts. I got nuts tonight. That means I got courage tonight. That means I got bravery tonight. That means I've got nuts. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, whoa. You guys hear that? You guys hear that association? Like, people will do things for the association of it. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I got nuts. My favorite thing about all of this that I like to just go back to is that it's a relationship. And it's not like some, here, my relationship with the big G-O-D, with the big kahuna out there is not one that it's like just some mysterious, mystical, fucking crazy Yoda figure. Oh, do or do not, and try, do or do not. There is no try. He doesn't speak in riddles. He's not weird as that. He's very down to earth. They're very much like me. They communicate to me, with me, in all ways that I would understand. At my level. And so it's having it's a conversation, it's a dialogue with someone you're very comfortable and friendly with. And so, it's not like, just have faith in me and all will be well and good. No, it's more like, well, dude, like, realistically, you probably don't need the almonds or the mixed nuts right now. How about we just see what happens? Let's just see what we make with what we have already over there. It's not like we're destitute and we have absolutely nothing. How about we knock it back? How about we go a little bit more into the less is more, and let's just see what happens as a result of that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not a bad answer. It's not a bad answer. It's not just about having faith to bring about crazy delusional, bizarre oddities and anomalies about the universe and what it really is and who is, what it is, what it truly might be, nothing that you know of. It's also very realistic. It's very realistic. It's like, it takes into account my own personal situation in the present moment. It's like, is this a want or a need? Oh, hear this one, guys. Everybody, hear this one. What about living for today? What about living for today, Or like, I should make myself happy for today, time, if time didn't exist and this was the only moment in time, don't you think I should go and get those almonds? Don't you think I should go and buy those nuts? I got nuts. I love it because it says, hey, I'm gonna fuck the nuts, dude. I'm gonna show you that you never needed the nuts in the first place. I'm gonna show you that there's gonna be a time. There's gonna be a time where there was a time where you never knew nuts. You never knew you needed the nuts. There was a time when you were perfectly okay and you didn't even have the nuts, you didn't know about the nuts, I'm going to take you back to that time. And you're going to be just as fulfilled and satisfied and content and happy as a clam. No almonds, no nuts. You're just going to be baseline, euphoric, and happy and satisfied with your life. And you're going to love, and your connection with the universe will be everything. That will be your sustenance. Okay. Sid, you shed a beautiful light. Beautiful light. Alright. I'll see you tomorrow. Whatever.